Trim Healthy Mama no carb easy bread. We are going to make these into a few hamburger buns. The mister asked for bacon cheeseburgers for dinner tonight, so I'm going to make this into, or attempt to make this into some hamburger buns using these small Pyrex bowls. And being a larger family, I've always wondered, 1 cup Pyrex bowls, what can I use those for? So I'm going to use, I've got 5 of them here. I'm going to make some no carb easy bread and attempt to make some hamburger buns with them. Okay, so into the blender, in between either 3 or 4. 4 is probably the max on the Vitamix for blending this for the 30 seconds and for blending on this. If you go higher speeds, it tends to create air bubbles. I'm going to start this for 30 seconds. And at this point, add the packet into the blender here. Get it all out. And then add 3/4 of a cup of water to that. And then we are going to blend this again for 10 seconds or so. And I'm going to scrape this guy down some. It's all right. Then I'm going to put this and blend for another 15 seconds or so. It's really getting it bogged down today. The faster you can do this, usually the better it is as you put your ingredients in there. You stir it a little bit. It really thickens up the psyllium husk, really makes it a thicker batter. I think it's ready. I'm going to come over here and put a couple spoonfuls in each of these containers to make see how this turns out. I put parchment paper, just small pieces in there, and not really in any type of particular way, just to make it fit. more to go. And yes, I'm holding the camera while I do this in one hand, so one-handed it is not as easy. I probably could have gotten it done quite a bit faster. Are you coming to help me, sister? All right, here. Hold the phone so it's not as all over the place. You see them? It's getting in there, and I'm going to move this around just a little bit. Then I'm going to put the remaining amount into a different pan and get it ready for the oven. So. Okay, so I have these, and I ended up with a 6th one that's bigger, but it has less in there. And the plan is to bake these in the round bowls and then use the serrated knife to cut them after they're cooked in half to make hamburger buns with them. So we're gonna go put them in the oven, and I use the oven at 430 degrees because my oven runs a little warmer than most. And so I'm gonna put these into the oven, and they will not take as long to bake with them being this small. So I'm going to do about 10 to 15 minutes and check them at about 10 minutes. So while waiting for the no carb easy bread to bake, I'm going to wash the blender with the Vitamix. If you don't know this trick, you put warm water in there and some soap and run that on high, and it will clean the blender really well. And that's in the owner's manual and stuff as well. But I didn't know that until a few years ago, that this would clean the blender this well. And a minute or two at the most on that works great, and it'll start coming out depending on how much water and soap you put in there, so you want to keep an eye on it. And I just dump it into my already sink for the rest of the dishes. And this is another snack idea that I enjoy. I made this with leftover no carb easy bread the other day that was left over from cinnamon rolls I made. So it made more of a flatbread, and I cut it in half as a piece here. And this is a olive oil with fresh garlic in it and a bunch of seasoning. I've used oregano, salt, pepper, a little bit of basil, and this is very good dip for any type of low carb bread that's keto friendly. Trim Healthy Mama S. This is amazing. Dip this. It is like from an Italian restaurant there. It's very good. Very good dip. There's a trick to making this olive oil, and that is using a high quality olive oil. These are the two of my favorite olive oils for the best taste. A lot of olive oils are mixed with other vegetable oils and are not 100% pure. These two I've had a lot of luck with. They're very good. and basically just put that oil in a small jar and chop up fresh garlic in pieces and put your spices and salt and pepper and allow it to sit on the counter for at least a day or so. It'll last for a while. And it infuses those herbs and garlic into that for a really wonderful taste. Okay, so they're ready to come out of the oven, and see if I can use my little pinchers. It's gonna need a different pot holder here. I think I'll just take one out and try it. The others need a couple minutes. Let's pull this out and see how it came out. Well, he flipped over in this bowl. So there was a little bit stuck to the glass pan because I didn't use the parchment very well, but it turned out really good. It looks like it would make a good hamburger bun for sure. And I would take and use the serrated knife and cut that in half. Right. Have somebody hold the camera for me while I cut it here in half. And there's hamburger bun. I think maybe the bigger one might turn out a bit better. That will work for a hamburger bun. Just stack everything together and these took probably 12 to 15 minutes in the oven total.